The Hulk has been a major part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe since 2008, when he appeared in his only solo movie in the franchise to date, The Incredible Hulk. To say the character has been on a journey in the MCU would be a huge understatement. He's really been through the ringer, and that journey is set to continue in suitably dramatic fashion in this year's Avengers Endgame. There are a number of theories regarding how the Hulk might have developed as a character since we last saw him in 2018's Avengers Infinity War, and in this video we'll take a look at some of the ways that might manifest. To begin with, let's take a look at the journey the Hulk's been on so far in the MCU. It's one of the most bizarre and indeed one of the most interesting character arcs in the entire franchise. We were introduced to him in the aforementioned The Incredible Hulk no less than 11 years ago, when Edward Norton played the part of his alter ego Bruce Banner. While the opening credits did play over footage of what happened in the 2005 laboratory accident that caused Banner to transform into the Hulk, we first met him properly 5 years later when he was hiding in Brazil. The Incredible Hulk was set in 2010, running concurrently with Iron Man 2, if that has confused you. Banner was forced to leave his life and the love of it, Betty Ross, behind, hoping to find a cure for his condition. He was found and brought back to the United States by William Hurt's General Ross, defeated Tim Roth's Abomination, became a fugitive once more, and was revealed to be somewhat in control of his transformations at the movie's climax. And we next meet him in 2012's The Avengers, when he'd mysteriously morphed into Mark Ruffalo, thanks to Edward Norton falling out with Marvel over control of Bruce Banner's script. It was at this point that S.H.I.E.L.D. and specifically Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff found him in India, where he'd been working as a doctor. Romanoff explained that S.H.I.E.L.D. had been helping him to remain hidden, but that they needed him to help with a potential global catastrophe. He joined up with the other Avengers in the United States, helped them to defeat Loki and the Chitauri in New York City, at which point it was confirmed he had control over his transformations, and was no longer considered a fugitive. Next up, after a brief cameo in the post-credit scene of 2013's Iron Man 3, we caught up with Banner in 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, where he had become a bona fide member of the Avengers. After assisting his heroic allies in defeating the murder bot he helped to create, he jetted off into space in a Quinjet, having come to the realization that he was a threat to both the Earth and his new love interest, Natasha Romanoff. And that's when things got really weird for the character. 2017's Thor Ragnarok was the beginning of an epic 3-movie arc for the big green guy, which Marvel Studios have decided to play out in the absence of any more Hulk solo movies. What with the complexities regarding the character's solo movie rights, it revealed that the Hulk had wound up on the distant world of Sakaar, a junk planet surrounded by wormholes that also had a gladiatorial arena on it. The arena was overseen by Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster, and the Hulk was his unbeaten champion, having not changed back to Bruce Banner for a couple of years. During this time, the big green guy even developed the ability to speak like a toddler.
No Banner, only Hulk!
His transformation back to Bruce Banner didn't happen until Thor inadvertently joined the Hulk, fought him in the arena, and escaped the planet. He then headed to Asgard, where he fought against the ferocious Fenris in Thor's battle against Hela and her army. A battle the heroes won, and subsequently headed to Earth on the ship known as the Statesman. Then came Avengers Infinity War in 2018. The Hulk was still on board the Asgardian refugee vessel when Thanos and the Black Order attacked it in the hope of getting their hands on the Tesseract. The big green guy ambushed the Mad Titan, hoping to gain an advantage over him by taking him by surprise. But the prune-chinned villain soon turned the tables, dishing out the most effortless, thorough, and convincing beating the Hulk had ever received. At that point, Heimdall used his dying moments to send the Hulk to Earth, where he reverted to Bruce Banner to warn the Avengers of Thanos' intentions. And when Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian arrived in New York soon after, it was quickly revealed that the Hulk was refusing to come out. Whether that be because he was scared after the beating he'd received at the hands of the Mad Titan, or because he simply didn't want to comply with his puny alter ego. Banner then participated in the Battle of Wakanda, where he wore the Hulkbuster armor in lieu of the Hulk's refusal to re-emerge. He fought valiantly, even being the one to kill off the aforementioned Cull Obsidian, but he could do nothing to prevent Thanos from obtaining the last Infinity Stone from Vision's forehead and executing the decimation. He was, of course, spared in the Mad Titan's universal cult, along with the other original Avengers. And that's where he's at now, mourning the loss of 50% of all living creatures, including several people he knew very well. It's generally expected that when Avengers Endgame comes around this spring, the character will have undergone more changes. It's the final movie in that epic 3-movie arc we spoke of after all. So let's get stuck into some of the theories about that. One prominent theory is that if indeed his refusal to come out in Infinity War was due to his fear of Thanos, he'll have gotten over that fear and will be ready for the rematch. Moreover, there's a theory that he's spent time specifically training, perhaps with Steve Rogers, to improve his fighting technique when he's in his Hulk form. Hulk has always been a brute whose fighting mantra is no more complicated than Hulk smash, and that simply didn't work against the Mad Titan, a character who is clearly extremely well drilled in a variety of fighting styles. If Hulk displays some actual fighting skill, becomes less rash, more disciplined, and more methodical, Thanos might be in for a giant green surprise if he goes up against the other guy again. But there are also some more radical theories regarding how the Hulk might have changed as a character come the release of Avengers Endgame, one of which suggests he might be a heck of a lot more powerful. In the comic books, for example in the World War Hulk story arc from 2010, the Hulk has proven to increase in power thanks to external factors, such as absorbing radiation from other planets or experiencing emotional trauma. Given that the MCU version of Hulk has recently spent time on Sakaar and endured the emotional trauma of the decimation, there's every chance a more powerful version of his inner monster could be ready to be unleashed. If that's the case, it might just happen in a showdown with Thanos in Avengers Endgame, especially given the anxiety he'll experience knowing that he's fighting for the fate of the universe and the lives of his heroic allies. Of course, it could end up backfiring and being counterproductive, as the Hulk at his most powerful has been known to crack planets in half with sheer brute strength. And that's the last thing Earth needs in the MCU, given the trauma it's already experienced in recent years. Another possibility is that Avengers Endgame will introduce the idea of the Professor Hulk character, who first appeared in a comic in 1991's Incredible Hulk Volume 1, issue number 377. Professor Hulk is a sort of midway point between Bruce Banner and the Hulk, an ideal merger of the two entities. And while he's still green and muscular, he doesn't look quite as hulked out. And most importantly, he retains the intelligence and personality of Banner. That's a character who can be potentially very dangerous. Banner is one of the smartest people on Earth, and he would undoubtedly be of great use in the fight against Thanos in the MCU. Rather interestingly, some of the artwork for the fourth Avengers movie shows the Hulk looking a lot more human. His face resembles Mark Ruffalo's more than ever before. He's not quite as monstrous or veiny as he usually is, and he's wearing a superhero uniform that suggests he doesn't intend to change his size anytime soon. Could it be that Banner and the Hulk have come to some kind of compromise to meet in the middle for the greater good? It's entirely possible. On the flip side of the Professor Hulk theory, there are some people who are suggesting that Bruce Banner and the Hulk could be split in two in Avengers Endgame. The two characters have been at odds for some time now, with the culmination of that being Avengers Infinity War, when Banner tried to Hulk out and the big green guy flat out told him no. The heroes of the MCU might come to the conclusion that for the greater good, the best option is to split the two characters up. Not that we know how they'd do it, but it's certainly an interesting theory. It's happened on several occasions in the comics, and it results in Banner being free from the burden of the Hulk, while the Hulk becomes a being of pure, unbridled rage, which frankly could be exactly what's needed in the fight back against Thanos. Moving on from that idea, ever since Loki died in Avengers Infinity War, people have been theorizing that the God of Mischief somehow faked his own death, and that he's been masquerading as another character ever since. One of those characters is potentially the Hulk, so the Hulk we see in Avengers Endgame, and indeed the Bruce Banner we saw in Infinity War, might not actually be the real version of the character at all.
What?
It does make some sense. It would explain to a point why Banner couldn't Hulk out for the entirety of the movie. But it also begs the question, where is the real Hulk? If that theory turns out to be true, we might get to see what has happened to the real version of the big green guy when Endgame comes out this spring. Could it be that he's somehow been held captive by Loki so that the self-proclaimed rightful king of Jotunheim could take his place? It would be quite the reveal in Endgame to see that the Hulk has actually been cast out to the far reaches of space and held prisoner by Thor's adoptive brother. And it would be an even bigger reveal if we were to find out that the Hulk was actually dead. There's a suggestion that the Hulk was actually killed by Thanos in Avengers Infinity War, which Loki saw as an opportunity to masquerade as the character going forward. And the Loki who was killed by Thanos was just a poor, unfortunate, random Asgardian refugee. Loki was nervous about heading back to Earth after what he did in the first Avengers movie, and one way of guaranteeing he was protected by the Avengers when he arrived there would be to make it look like he was one of them. The final theory about how Hulk could be completely different in Avengers Endgame is one that's based on the fact that a certain alien species are set to be introduced in this year's Captain Marvel movie. And it's the theory that the big green guy has actually been a Skrull for some time in the MCU. The Skrulls can appear as anyone they want to look like, even little old ladies. It's absolutely inevitable that some major MCU characters will be revealed to be Skrulls going forward in the franchise. And we can't see it being any of the main flagship characters like Iron Man, Captain America, or Thor, but it would be a little underwhelming if it was just someone like Happy Hogan, Helen Cho, or Ned Leeds. With that in mind, Mark Ruffalo's character is actually the perfect candidate. And again, it would offer a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why he couldn't truly Hulk out in Avengers Infinity War. The truth is, we don't know how the Hulk will have changed, and frankly, he might not have changed at all. But bearing in mind how varied his arc has been in the MCU and how much he's developed as a character since he first appeared all those years ago, we have to imagine something big is on the cards for him in such an epic movie. Avengers Endgame hits theaters this April, so there's not long to wait to find out what's going to happen. And we're ridiculously excited about it.